Now we're on to lesson 4, which is going to be about finding the deal. This is probably the funnest part of the whole process. So if you remember in step 1, you decided what's your strategy going to be? Is it going to be maximizing cash flow or maximizing appreciation? Step 2, you narrow down your property criteria. What type of property are you going to buy, at what price point, and in what location? Step 3, you decided how are you going to fund the deal and actually come up with the money to purchase it. So that leads us to step 4. You're ready to start searching for deals. So the first place you can start looking is the most obvious, and that's on market properties. These listings are on the MLS. You can find them on Zillow. It's pretty simple. Most serious investors know about these properties within 24 hours of them being on the market. There will be a lot of competition for these deals if they're priced right. And if it is a good price, it's probably going to sell fast. It's a competitive market. And those other investors, they've done the work narrowing down their criteria, figured out how they're going to fund the deal. So once they find it, there's not a lot more steps to take other than just writing an offer and getting it accepted so that you can start the purchase process. If the property's been listed on the market for more than 30 days, then odds are it's probably not a great deal when it comes to the price or maybe even the condition of the property. But the market conditions can always change. The last 4 years, properties have been selling really fast. And maybe in the future, it's normal that they sit on the market a little longer. But that's just not where we're at right now, at least in my market in central Illinois. If you're looking at other markets like Florida, homes have been sitting on the market a little longer now, which I'm talking right now in late 2024. So market conditions change all the time. So it's good to get an idea of what's the average days on market for whatever MLS you're looking at properties in. Now, when it comes to finding the best deals, these are typically off-market properties. These aren't listed on the MLS. You can usually get the best deal because there's just not as much competition. It's not publicly advertised, and so you're usually just working with the seller. Maybe they've told it to a few other people, but it's going to give you a lot more leverage to get a good deal when it's an off-market property. Just because of the sheer number of other competing buyers is going to be a lot less. So where do you find off-market deals? The best place to start is going to be your network, word of mouth. So this is usually the best source for great deals and being able to negotiate because you have some kind of mutual connection to the seller, whether it's just a mutual friend or you're not just a complete stranger. Someone's usually going to introduce you. There's another level of trust that just makes the negotiation a little easier. So if you're serious about real estate investing, you should let everyone know and tell them what your property criteria is. You really want to be top of mind. Another place that you can go to find off-market deals is going to be Courthouse Auctions. When a property goes into foreclosure, there's a sheriff sale at the courthouse. Typically, the lien holder or mortgagee will have a representative at the courthouse to bid on behalf of the bank or lender. Typically, the bank or lender will receive the deed of the property unless another bidder wants to go above whatever the lien amount was or whatever the bank's maximum bid is. It can vary just situationally, but banks typically prefer not to own real estate and have it on their books. So they often won't bid above the lien amount. You can get a good estimate of what the lien amount is by looking at public records, such as the county's recorder of deeds. You can access these public records and typically see or estimate about what the former owner of the property, what they probably owe the bank. So you can get a good idea of what the bank might be willing to pay at that auction and then see if it could be a potential deal for you. Another really good source for off-market properties, and I've used this before, it's auction.com. Now, these are bank-owned foreclosure properties that they've listed for sale. So the property's listed directly by the bank. They've already foreclosed on it, and they're typically going to put it on auction.com so that they don't have to pay real estate broker fees. And auction.com is usually going to be like a cash as-is purchase only. So this platform is also going to be really useful because they're going to advertise upcoming courthouse auctions. So I really like auction.com. you're typically going to have enough cash to make a cash offer, because on auction.com, they're not going to want anyone to appraise the home. The bank just wants a simple, easy transaction. They don't want to have to go in and fix anything in these properties, partially because they've been vacant maybe for several months. And you're probably going to have some issues with the home. Not always. The one I bought had actually very minimal issues. And one way I was able to get a little inside scoop on the property is I looked the former owner up on Instagram, and they had videos all through the house of their cat running around. So I got to see the whole inside of the house, because normally when you do an auction.com bid, you're not allowed to go into the house. You pretty much can only drive by and maybe get creative doing what I did, but that's about as good as it's going to get. So there's going to be more risk, but the prices on those are usually going to be pretty good. So another way to find off-market properties is going to be mailers or traditional marketing. You can send mailers out to your target neighborhoods you're looking to buy in, or even put those signs up. A lot of times you've probably seen, hey, we buy houses cash, signs all over town. That's a lead funnel for people to try to find deals that they can purchase. Another way to find off-market properties is going to be real estate agents. It's important to build relationships with as many different realtors as possible. Be open to working with all of them. If you find the deal yourself, I would say just pick the best real estate agent that you trust the most. But it can be really beneficial going around and talking to a lot of different realtors just to say, hey, I'm an investor. Here's what I'm looking for. Just stay top of mind with them, and make yourself seem easy to do business with, because they might have some potential listings coming up, or they're talking to potential home sellers, and they might say, oh, hey, I just talked to Eric and he's looking to buy something just like what you're selling. And if we could do it without even listing it on the market, would that help you out? And a lot of times they're going to be like, yeah, that's great. I'd much rather not have 20 different people coming in and out of my house. So another way to find deals is going to be other investors and landlords. Investors and landlords, they're looking for deals all the time too. And maybe they're at a point where they're just not ready to buy another one, but people are still going to be sending them deals because they purchased in the past. Maybe they're ready to do it again. So I would stay top of mind with these other investors and landlords through maybe different investor meetups, things like that, because investors like to help each other out. If I see a deal that I'm not ready to buy, but I've got a friend or somebody I know that's looking for that same type of property, I'm going to refer it over to them and try to help them out, because what goes around comes around, and helping people out is going to lead to them helping you out in the future, hopefully. Another way to find off-market deals is going to be real estate and divorce attorneys, and also title companies. So these are people that are dealing with, say someone's getting divorced, they got to sell this house that's not in great condition. Attorneys come across that all the time. So they're a really good contact for finding deals. Again, just keep yourself top of mind and seem like you're easy to do business with, and they'll probably give you a call sometime, maybe refer you a deal. Another way to find deals is going to be pre-foreclosure lists. So this is once people start missing their mortgage payments, there's a lis pendens that is filed. And this is just a public pre-foreclosure notice. So it's public information, and they're putting it out there saying, hey, Joe Smith's not paying their mortgage. If he keeps missing payments, he's going to go into foreclosure. So that's something that if somebody's getting behind on their mortgage payment, maybe you could make it a win-win, where they have a terrible financial situation going on. The property's got a lot of issues. They don't have the money to fix it. It might benefit them if they just sold it to you and walked away with some money, rather than having it go into foreclosure, destroy their credit, and them ultimately lose money. So that's another great way to find deals. Another one that I really like, this is creative. I've had some friends use this successfully, and it's using virtual assistants. So there's a lot of data out there, like I mentioned, like pre-foreclosure notices, or certain ways you can find data on properties that's like, hey, this might be somebody looking to sell their property, or maybe they're financially distressed, or the property's distressed. So you can buy lists of data from a lot of different companies, data brokers, and then it might be hundreds of people's phone numbers. So it might take you forever to call them yourself. But you can pay virtual assistants to do this and train them to go through scripts and set appointments for you so they can kind of weed out the not serious ones and line you up with the good serious deals. So another fun way to find off-market deals is called driving for dollars. Just drive around. You've already narrowed down your target neighborhood. Just drive around that neighborhood. Just talk to people in the neighborhood. Tell them what you're looking for. Maybe even if you see someone out in the front yard of a distressed house, maybe they're a renter or maybe they own that house. But you could just ask them, say, "Hey, do you think you or your landlord would ever sell this house?" So being shy is expensive. So don't be afraid to talk to people or see if they'd be interested in selling. But these are some ways to find deals. We could go into these a lot more, but just a little overview of how my mindset works when I'm looking for deals. So comment if you got any questions about that, and we'll move on to the next lesson. Thanks.